Gotta be careful with this thing. I accidentally hit stop. This is my vlog for January 28th. Excuse me. I'm currently having a, whatchamacallit, $2 Monster Energy. And it has taurine. But it also has vitamins of the B. It also has L-carotene. Oh, but it's giving me belches. This is current. Ooh, I gotta be careful with this camera, dude. This is where I'm at now. Just a pile of stuff. Oh, but I installed that light in the middle and that fan. So each person on the couch on either side gets the light, but gets a fan. But the person in the middle, they get their light. So, and I have my timer there. Yesterday, I'm so lazy. Fuck it. I'll get up. Yesterday, I installed the green iguana cage, and the cage is going to start down there, and so I put those mirrors up yesterday. They hang from the ceiling, and then I'll put more scaly mirrors up on this left side, and then I have a thing he can climb up, so that'll be his whole cage all up there, and then up the top, and then all the way down here so we can hang out with the ferrets, and then over there with all the mirrors on the roof. So that's what I did yesterday. And because the green iguanas are trippy as hell, dude. They have like all kinds of frills on all over their body and colors. And I think they're vegetarians too, so they're super easy to take care of. You just throw them fruits and vegetables at them. Savannah monitors are super duper easy to take care of too. Like I only see mine once a week. He kind of pops up and I see him kind of maybe to say hi. Because then I look at him and then I kind of go back or whatever, and then I look and he's gone. So I was like worrying about him. So for the very first time, because I'm so lazy. For the very first time, I lifted that heat pad up. Because I thought maybe he lived down there. That's how lazy I am. And I switched out his water for the second time ever since I got him like 3 months ago, last night. So I picked up the thing and I looked under, and because I was thinking about fixing it because the ferrets, before I got the monitor, got in there once and were just wreaked havoc, and they dug all out and it made it not level. But and once they got in with him in there, and they didn't get him, but I thought they killed him, but then he popped up, But I looked over and I saw just like a freaking hundreds. Maybe I'll show you. Fuck it. You're welcome. You're welcome for not being lazy. Look, those are my ferrets. They're sleeping right now. They want to be next to me at all times, so they hang out under the kitchen sink because it's warm down there, and they like it that I'm there. And then when I'm in my room, they hang out like on the floor next to me, next to my bed, and like in the shelves behind me. So they can sleep next to me at all times. But yeah, fuck it. Let's see what's going on. My forehead's really itchy right now because I just installed that light and got the fucking fiberglass all over me, dude. Like yesterday, dude, like, oh my God, I had like rashes, red ass rashes all over my leg. I don't even remember touching it. But check it. Check this out, dude. Huh, there's not that many there now. I saw like a gazillion. Huh. Oh shit, is my like monitor like gobbling them all up? See, there's the clean water, but I don't even know where the monitor is. I don't know where he lives. I think I picked that up and I didn't see him, so maybe he's back there. I don't know. Anyway, that's interesting. Well, maybe those holes I think are made. I saw the monitor digging in there. See, do you see that? I can see his whiskers. That's a roach. That's roach whiskers. You see it in the hole? So like the monitor digs in there and the roaches, and so I think they have a whole like cave network down there, and they like to be in there at night. That's why they're not there now, because it's daytime and it's warm. But at night when it's cold, I opened that up and it was just like the whole thing was covered with them. There was like 100 of them, because I was worried that there wasn't enough, like he was starving. But he never looks desperate, and he doesn't look skinny. So anyways, the moral of the story is monitors. Here's my racetrack. It goes from the very ceiling and it goes down, and I already tested it. They go find they go around here, they do that, and then they jump the shark, and then they land, and then they go there, and they go all the way down to the edge, and whichever one does it the fastest, that's the best car design. And I do wind tunnel testing by smoking weed, and I blow at it, and you can see all the weed go over it, and you can see the air vortices. So that's how I do my car testing. It's much more scientific than those less intellectual dudes, such as the guys who have the Lamborghini Countaches, the cool kids. Doug DeMuro and his white Lamborghini Countach, and then you have the smoking tire with his like yellow Lamborghini Countach, and then there's that rich kid with his Countach, and then all those other dudes with their Countaches. All of the car guys have Countaches. I had a Impreza last year for a week with a 1,000-watt stereo. It was pretty badass. Anyways, 2.2 liter, 1,600 pounds, 96. Anyways, I can't do testing with my Countach though, because I water dripped on it for like a year and it kind of fused the wheel. So I'd have to. That's the pace car Countach. So I'd have to get like maybe. My kind of rule of thumb is the Matchbox, even if it's slightly different, that's enough to get another one. So I could get like a regular Countach without the sirens on the top. And we could do wind tunnel testing and performance testing with that. You know, you can have like the level of who's the fastest. I have quarter miles in my bathroom, organized by that with all the information. But on my website or whatever, I don't know, in my head, I could have another list based on the ones that actually perform the best as Matchbox. And I have the different designs too. So anyways, so my forehead was like totally burning and itchy when I went to the store to get my energy drink. Just because I touched that thing. These lights. Those lights. Those lights. With the fiberglass. I didn't know they were still doing that. But anyway. I'm going to put more lights up too. When I have the money. I'm going to put lights up there and up there. So anyways, and today I also, here I'll show it. I'm like doing a, whatchamacallit today, show and tell. So that's my rack. I bought that like last year or whatever. And I tried to drill in and I couldn't drill in even with a cement drill. Am I showing the right thing? Here. That rack. So I just hung it. With zip tie from the middle. Why not? So now I have everything installed except for my four shag rugs. Show and tell. My 4 shag rugs that I have to put in my room. Because my ferrets were pooping all over. And so after I have my energy drink and get as high as I can off of this homegrown, I'm going to do the one last installation thing that I have to do, the shag rug. Yeah, I installed got my camera installed, and it's already hooked up to my studio, my deck, or whatever those things are called. Mixer, for when I do karate. I have my my kick meters there, a kick meter there and a kick meter there. UFC kick meter here. You measure the force of every single kick, and you film whether or not you hit it. And then you can also attach kick meters here for one-offs. Those kick meters, Styly Foo, like 2 of them. For Alpha Force, so I can get do I have, where's my belts? These are my belts, so I can go up the ranks. So it begins with rainbow, which is anything from dead until white. So I'm totally out of shape now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a routine, which I haven't created yet. I just kind of lay in bed or whatever, kind of have closed my eyes, and when I'm not thinking, do a routine. But it's also as realistic as I can do. Yeah, and then do it, and then whatever so basically what it is it's a certain number of punches, kicks to the head, body, and then, so I do punching, kicking, say 30 seconds. How long are the rounds? 5 minutes. So 30 seconds punching, kicking, and then you do a front flip. Where's my ball? I have a big ball, air ball. Front flip, bounce off the ball, and then you land on your jiu-jitsu dummy. And that's what those little balls were for. That's actually the other thing I have to do. So I have 2 more things. But I can't find it. I can't find because I rolled it up in a little ball and I stuck it somewhere in my room. So I have to clean my room. I put those up. And then I actually did look in all of the drawers and everything, and I couldn't find it. So just tear everything out of all the drawers. Maybe even look in the basement. I don't know. I'm just missing. Once I find that, I can put those in it, stuff it up. So you do front flip, stuff it. I mean, not stuff it first. Front flip, do a maneuver. And then you jump up and you do 10 squats to overheads. Squatting down like that, overhead. Dumbbells, I love dumbbells. Not enough people do dumbbells. I have 45 pounders. That's my heaviest weight. I have 10. Do I have 10 or is 15 my smallest? I might have a 10s. 15s, 25, 35, 45. Those are my weights. I wish I had 50s, but whatever. I don't have the money. If I did, I used to be a sports whatever thing over there. Could have gotten them there, but. Yeah, 10 of those, 45-pound dumbbells. And then back to the kicking. So the kicking, the punch of that thing, measuring your force, mimics karate, the stand-up. The front flip mimics getting down on the ground. Then the jiu-jitsu is when you do the thing on the dummy. And then the dumbbells, that mimics the wrestling. So it's karate, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Just 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds for 5 minutes. And then you take a minute off. I think that's what they do in the UFC. See, I'm scratching my foot right now because this freaking shit. I should have worn a mask. But, yeah, and, it'll be fun because I can have my, maybe even speakers connected to the TV speaker right here. I don't know. Because I even paid $50 for the program where you push the button for all the different things. It's connected to your deck, Stream Deck. So I could do all the sounds like, keep going, like a make-believe corner guy. Anyway, and then you do 5 rounds, 3 rounds, 5 rounds. I guess all of them 5 rounds, championship. And at the end, whatever I do in the very first, like being from base, from where I'm at now, and I'll also do the other things, mile and everything. That is the level that you have to do in order to be a white belt. Okay. So because I'm exactly 50, 0 exercise, but I'll put in good effort. So that's white belt. And then I'll have to figure out what you have to accomplish and the base routine in order to, go up through the ranks and, so I don't know, I guess I'll make the highest rank the best I can get, I was thinking originally the best somebody could get, but you know, unless other people are doing this, I have to do it all myself. So, but it'd be fun. Then you upload that, you know, and then you try to get other people to do it. So I have to. Oh, that's another thing. I have 3 things I have to do. I just remembered. I have to fix this, but I don't think it's imminent because I also have to do the chicken wire all over. You know, to do the chicken wire for the green iguana and the chicken wire here for the bearded dragon that I'm gonna have on top of the refrigerator, but not when I have a roommate here if they don't want it. But then he can go over here and hang out with the ferrets. So yeah, I'll put that thrown that in with that group of things, so I don't have to do it anytime soon. But I even have the metal sheets, just metal sheets really tight around the bottom of that, and even has a lip, luckily, and then screw them to the base with a bunch of screws really well, because through the wood, which is about this thick, so that every time I kick it, it doesn't go up at all. It stays solid. It's already all really full with sand, because I don't want it to be like thuddy for the dude below. Will like freak out. My roommate was here, and it was like 950. This was like last year, kicking it, and every time he kicked it, it went up a little bit, and I heard the neighbor downstairs go, "Cut that out." And I didn't say anything to the roommate because it was 950. Like, their sound curfew is at 10, so I would have, like, I was on my roommate's side if their shit would have gone down until 10. But I actually told my roommate, I just, that the roommate, that he said that, but yeah, he likes to bitch. So, like when they were putting the wood floor in there, the people over who were installing the wood floor had me go to the store to buy him something. Go all the way back to like Lafayette to get him something that they forgot. And while I was there, the lady downstairs came up and was like, "What are you doing making all this noise?" But anyways, but I'll do that later. But anyways, so I'll have to come up with something. And then I also was thinking, and the only time I have time to think about this is like when I'm laying in bed, like not doing anything. So I remembered, you know, but luckily for me, like I work so much that when I lay in bed, I just fall asleep. So I don't even have time to lay around and think, which I like. But and I also forget. So one time I was remembering, I was sitting down, laying down, and I've been forgetting to say the video. I did this like 5 days ago. And I wanted to come up with a score where because I was talking about, you know, the score with the bike school where you mix it with physical, PE, physical education, and mental, which is the history. So, and the physical education, I actually do have lots of different lists, you know, mimicking history. Triathlon, but I don't have like triathlon level, but I guess later I'll do that. But yeah, triathlons, but I have individually running, swimming, and then biking. And biking is the main one that I'll do. But yeah, I'll also do triathlon, but then rowing, and I have a list of that. But fighting too, and so I even have a fighter page, and that's what I'm going to include into this. But as far as the biking goes, because that's the one that I do, the main one, I think it's based off of like up to 33 miles an hour. And I even have a course, and you can do it with 20 kilometer. You don't have to do it with 40. Based on how fast you go up for 20. I guess officially it's really with 40, but if you can find a spot, I haven't really found a spot for 40. I guess you could do the 20 twice. Yeah, you do 20 twice. But it would make it a little bit slower because you have to go up a climb. I think it's even a dirt road. Oh, no, yeah, up a climb. But there's a 20 kilometer course here that's nice and fast. Not the fastest because the road's not the smoothest, but it's overall, the end is a little bit lower than the beginning. But it's a fair course. But I think the fastest person is 33 miles an hour. So anyways, what you do is, and I was thinking, I didn't even think, I was like, how do you balance it? You know, because I want to set it up where you score the same at 70 as you would at 15. I came up with that idea because I'm listening to a bunch of history books. And most of the history books, you know, and I did the notes, and I'll put it on my website, and I'll links for the books later, because these are books that are on my site. Most of the guys who are still at war and up there with the, like, directing everything and fighting in the battle and being strong and kicking ass, up to 70 years old. And so, and I think you're in the army until 60. At one point I heard 50, but usually in Rome, 60. And when they're desperate, they draft down to 16. I think I chose 15 because it's kind of like a more rounded number, 5. But so 15 would be the same as 70. So the 15-year-old would be physically stronger than the 70-year-old, like the most fit 15-year-old. Like there's 15-year-olds who could ride their bikes up, or super fit 15-year-olds. I couldn't when I was 15 because I wasn't training. And I probably wasn't that developed at that age anyway, but mainly because I wasn't training. I was working all the time, going to school and working. But I think I saw a couple of years ago, a 15-year-old did really well. Like a 15-year-old could bike up a hill pretty good, like up with a local pro. And there's no 7-year-olds doing that, and I don't think a 7-year-old could. It could be just more cultural, because 7-year-olds are kind of culturally not into it as 15-year-olds. A couple years ago, I was riding up the steep part right before getting to Ward, and I was riding my bike up to, I think it was a couple years ago, up to Brainerd Lake, and this humpback guy, like a full-on humpback dude, and like his son, straight up passed me, going up the hill. Like they were in there like by like more than a mile an hour or something. And then they stopped to get water, and I was like, dude, this dude was like 70 or something, or 75. I was like, Jesus. So, but I reckon, I don't, see, it's hard, I'm just thinking in my head, but like a 15-year-old would do overall as good as a 7-year-old. So, but that's because a 15-year-old would be faster top speed, like say 28, and then the 70-year-old would be like, the very fastest 70-year-old is like 25 or whatever. But the 70-year-old would make up for it because they would score way better in the history test. And so because the 70-year-old scores better in the history test, they even out. So I wanted to do some kind of score like that. And I was thinking, how do you do it? And so I was kind of trying to, you multiply it by 18 or whatever. And then I was thinking, well, what do you want the overall score? And I was like, wait, what's the SAT is 1600. The perfect is 1600. I don't know what my SAT score was. I remember taking it. I remember the, man, see, I've got like red. This is from that fiberglass. Anyway, I remember the oral comprehension test part being super easy, like ridiculously easy. It was like Jack and Jill went up the hill to grab a pail of water. They got one pail of water and came down. How many pails did they have? And it was like 1. I don't know. It was something like that. But I don't remember what my score was. But 16. And so I was like, okay, so let's make 1600 the perfect score for my thing to mimic. I like to mimic. And so I do that with everything to try to make connections with everything. So that's 800 roughly, I think, and 800. 800 for physical, 800 for mental. And so I worked it out. This is like a few days ago, so I might not get the numbers right, but 33 miles an hour is perfect. So 33 times 18 is like 875. And so then so it's a little bit more jilted towards physical. And then, so then that gives you 725 or something, or I think it was 825 and then 775, something like that, to do the mental. And so that, I think the perfect for that would have been like getting a question every 4 seconds for an hour. So if you can get, I think it was every 4.7 seconds, every 5 seconds. If you can, because it's like 13 in a minute. 60 divided by 13 is like 5 seconds or something. So 4.7. So you have a minute for an hour, and then every minute you have to do a new one, a new random. And so you have to do 13 of each one for an hour. So you have to do, you have to say a new thing that you remembered happened in that decade, and you only have 5 seconds to say a new thing for a whole hour, and that's a perfect score. And I was like, holy shit, like that sounds hard, like, but it's hard only if you don't know the answer. Every 5 seconds, it's not hard if you can do that if you do know, you know. It's kind of like asking it's having your friend here, and for an hour, your friend goes, asks you simple questions like, "What's the name of your first cat?" You know, "What's the name of?" I'm not gonna say it because you know how they always have them like whatchamacallums, but what's the capital of America, D.C.? What's the capital of France, Paris? You know what I mean? Like you could do that, and so yeah, so I figured that's fair. So if you can do that, and then you can also ride 33 miles an hour, well, you get the perfect score. And maybe the idea is that, you should be able to get the perfect score at like the perfect age, which is maybe my age. You're still young enough to be able to ride 33 miles an hour, still more or less at the physical peak. And you've had enough time to get to that perfect level, like maybe just as good as you would be at 70. Like maybe you're not quite as sharp, and that'd be a fun thing if we make it a cultural thing to know exactly how sharp you get less, because everybody's doing this. Because maybe you get better, but so it seems like maybe the best time you would be like in your 40s or something, 40s and 50s for 20 years or something, or 30s to 40s, from 30 to 50 for 20 years. And maybe different ages for different people, but you could have that perfect score where you can average 33 miles an hour, and you have to, and that's if you get perfect score. You have to get the perfect score one time. So, and you have a new opportunity every 2 weeks. It's called the biweekly Kitzur test. So, and you have to have scored the mile an hour is something that you have to do. I was thinking like once every 3 months, like whatever your official speed is what your best speed that you've done within the last 3 months, and that's what you call it. So if you on that particular time trial, so if you have never done a time trial there and that it's been more than 3 months since you've done it, then you get degraded into like a in process mode, and you have to go and do it. And then if you go and do it, and it's been more than 3 months, even though you don't want to because you haven't been riding or whatever, that's your new speed. Unfortunately for you, that's your new speed. So that's what you have to figure in as your speed from when you take the test from then on in. So that's what keeps you. Yeah, it's only once every 3 months because it's a pain to have to go and do a certain course. You have other stuff you have going on in your life. But the test is something that you do every 2 weeks because it's right, it's easy, and you film it and everything, and you grade yourself. So, yeah, and so then you see like at what period of time you're up and down, and so I get to start at the bottom and see, which is good because the best way to do is teach is by example, especially in the beginning. So I'm been smoking so much weed, it hasn't really been the best. Wow, I've been talking for 28 minutes. It hasn't been the best situation to memorize everything in history because smoking weed makes you want to listen to music. I also have to concentrate on some things on here, which makes me distracted. Not a whole lot of blood getting in my brain from exercise. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, not spending all the time in the world, like I said, listening or paying attention, and yeah, probably mainly because of the weed, but so I get off weed and then I just start listening to books all the time, and actually actively studying. It's not off my computer. I don't know what the hell I did. It's on one of my. I have to go back to my hard drive to get it, but I converted every single. I think just by playing it and then recording it. Every single decade from BCN from 80 on the computer, and I was so I can listen to it. You can listen to one decade right after the other to train, because I'm gonna to study, because I guess you call it training for the biking, studying for the test. But every time you get your ass kicked, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, and you're pissed, embarrassed, and you want to go and train and study by listening to these things over and over again, you know, in between books or whatever. You just listen to the Wikipedia of all the decades, just one after the other, or you pinpoint them. So you basically listen to history, you know, and so you know, and it's only 200 you have to memorize. So it's like, come on, you do it, you know. And so if you really listen to it and you're sober and you're focusing, and biking is the perfect time to do it. You can focus on it. Brain's going to the brain, you know. Better situation than what I was doing. So when I start, I'll be really low. I'll score really low. Like I'll get like, oh my God, like if I get unlucky with even on the AD, which I know more than BC, even if I get, you know, if I, you know, I could score like only like 2 or 3 points like in a whole hour. Just be like, just draw a goddamn blank, you know. So it's like, oh shit, and you know, and you get 1 point per answer, you know, like with the biking, you get whatever speed you are multiplied by like 18, I think it is, in order to get to 825. I'll have to look at it again, but I never wrote it down. This is all in my head and like some calculator. But that means that it's basically your score is basically, and this is like your citizen score. I don't know what you call it. Your score as a person is basically entirely based off of how fast you can go. It's not even how well you can score because you can't make up for it. Because I don't know shit about history, and so now you basically have to rely on that. Only when you start to get really good at history and you can just go is when you can start gaining points. And so I haven't even figured out in my head even one time how much speed, and then you can even convert it into like aerodynamics and like a little like aero thing, a helmet. Well, how many questions is that worth? But you know, if it's 33 miles an hour times 18, you know, that's like 18th. So that's like each level is 1/4 on my bike levels. Each level is 1/4 of a mile an hour. But this is like multiplied by even more. This is like a 16th of a mile an hour, a 30th of a mile an hour or something. So if you get one question right on the test in an hour, all that does is increase your mile an hour speed by like 0.2 of a mile an hour. It's like nothing. That's why you have to get 13 questions a minute, which is 6. Yeah, because it's one question per point, right? So you have to get like 775 questions in an hour, and only to match 33 miles an hour, because that's times 33 to make 800. So so anyways, that'll create like, I'm trying to get faster because I want to get higher on the score. So I'm trying to get faster by writing, and I'm also listening like, ooh, if I could just get that one. Oh, I hope the random number generator scores gets me that decade, because then I could get that, and I could get that point for that little much faster. You know, and at the same time, I'm like, ooh, if I like stand up on this like hill here, I can get that a little much faster, and it'll that's how I'm going to start with those grades, and then of course you tweak it as you go along. But it'll be interesting how close I am at the beginning. So yeah, it's going to be fun to start. Hopefully I can get donations for this idea, because I'm like, and I'm going to ask for money on YouTube videos on my main channel and on all the different donation that I have, which is like 8 different sites. I don't think I've gotten any money on any of those yet. I'm immune to getting donated to because my website's not developed enough. I haven't just explained myself yet because I've been so drilled in. And I'm also, on my time, I'd like to put the law code. I really want to get the law code on my website so I can listen to it like a book. But yeah, I want to like prove like with a statement, like how much in debt I am, you know, and then prove it. Because I can't ride. I'm not going to be able to ride outside if I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance. So I'm just going to have to, maybe for the next year or whatever, I'm just going to just go to the gym. So I'm going to lift 100,000 pounds a day and run 10 miles. I like to do base things. Oh, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to do this fight thing. Yeah. Maybe a white belt is after. No, it's not after. It's like in the morning. Oh. But yeah, I want to. One of the exercises I want to do per day is 100,000 lifting, and then run 10 miles in my room on the treadmill. And then once it gets warmer, uh, yeah, I'd like to eventually be able to do that. I have a tear in my calf, which is the thing that makes it so that I can't do it from an injury. I'm hoping that it'll eventually heal itself. I'm going to eat a whole bunch of MSMs and vitamin C's and train and stretch and do red light. I have red lights, 3 of them. Do those all the time. And I have a pyramid. I might set up my copper pyramid with a dangling crystal. That's at the King's Chamber. Pyramid's the same shape as the pyramid. So, anyways, that's enough talking. Dang, 35 minutes. So this is stuff that I've been wanting to talk for the last few minutes, a few days. My point system that I figured out. And also, I've been speaking about it on this too. It's a mixture. Your fighting level is a mixture from how well you score on this, but it's also a mixture of, because it has to mix with all the different categories. Mile, 100 meter, mile signifying endurance, 100 meter signifying speed. Bench press, your triple, your quadruple, which is signifying strength, which is bench, overhead bench, squat, and deadlift. Or overhead press, squat, and deadlift, and then that all thrown together. And then stretching, limbarity is one with a certain pointage. I have it all written down on here, but not on my website. I will put it on my website. It's on my notes, but I did write it down. And body weight, height, reach, gender. I think you get a 10% advantage for a guy. Same thing with the cycling. That's the difference with performance with all the sports, and so I'm going to incorporate it into this. Everything's the same except for that, but that's just one category. And then skill level, like if you're like a belt. And then I'll throw this in somehow. But this will be the belt. This will be the, how you do on this will be the substitute for the belt. Because I do what is called Alpha Force Martial Arts. So anyways, yeah, I'll get going on that at my leisure, putting that to words. Man, my chest has been like hurting. Yeah, I need exercise. Woo. So anyways, yeah, my mom's going to come over and check out this place. I told her the stuff I set up. So, man, I've been talking a long time. So I'm going to finish my energy drink, smoke as much weed as I can, eat that banana. And then I'm going to vacuum my apartment, my bedroom, and sew these, I think I still have some. I had to order, I got 1,000 4-inch zip ties, and I'm almost out. So I'm going to use probably the rest of my zip ties. Hopefully I have enough to zip tie those in place. And then finally I did that. And then my room's ready, and then I can clean out that room, get the stuff off of that, clean up this, and then get my bank information so that I go into the credit union tomorrow. That's my next financial thing. I'm trying to consolidate my 5 credit cards. And my mom's going to go in there with me tomorrow. It's only across the street. So that's what I'm up to. And I shall talk to you tomorrow.